Hey guys, you're watching the Burden of Truth after show. This is season 1, episode 5, Witch Hunt, and things are really heating up. Death threats? Who could that be from? Guys, stay tuned because we're going to talk all about it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Bring it back. Hocus pocus. Witchery.
Halloween is here. Almost.
I mean, almost. It was kind of, okay, they're on a definite witch hunt here. And it's serious but kind of funny because it's just so, really, they're saying witchcraft. They're blaming it on witchcraft. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. We are mid-season and things are heating up. Guys, I'm your host, Parris Rose, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
Hey everyone, I'm Mina. Happy to be back.
Yes. So we were just saying, the show is heating up, though. You feel it.
I feel almost. I don't feel bad for what I said last week, right? Because I really did feel that way.
Yeah.
But this was such a crazy turnaround.
Yes.
I was legitimately sucked in, and I was like, wow, this is actually getting really good. I almost felt like this would be a show that I would be obsessed with in high school at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still can enjoy watching a movie that's kind of about high school kids at this age.
They're mature high school kids, too, kind of.
But I feel like nowadays, when you really think about it, high school kids, middle school kids, elementary school kids are so much more mature than they used to be when, we were kids.
Yeah.
Just because of the role of social media and technology and just the sexualized nature of, role models in the entertainment industry, I guess.
I think that's where I'm coming from, because just seeing that they're openly lesbian relationship and they're so mature about it. But I'm just thinking, oh my God, that's so mature, because that would never happen in my high school. Maybe no one would actually come out, especially being lesbians.
Do you remember Degrassi? Because Degrassi tried to tackle these issues way back.
See, I didn't watch Degrassi. I just realized
it was dramatic.
Glee did too, but I just started watching Glee now. So
okay. Yeah.
But
I think that's so important, though. I kept thinking when I was watching the episode, I was like, this is so great that they have lesbian couples from a small town.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there are so many people who are struggling with being gay from these very conservative towns that, where religion is so important and it's like a strong either Christian base, Muslim base, Jewish base, whatever it may be, where it's just like, oh, it's a sin to be gay, you're going to go to hell. Yes. So these kids unfortunately struggle with that, and it's a part of their identity that they feel like they have to suppress or run away, or they won't be accepted by their parents. And it's so important to have characters like that you can relate to, so you don't feel like you're struggling with this alone.
It's so true. And I'm actually not very religious, but I would feel some type of way if I was religious, because shows always seem to highlight the very far left type of religion. They're evil is taking them over. It must be witchcraft. They're sinners. They make it so, and the parents are very stiff. And I'm like, guys, there's regular, very religious people. I feel like TV shows and movies always highlight these very intense, closed-minded religious people.
The only exception to that rule that I've actually seen and been a fan of is Seventh Heaven, where I feel it was a religious family with a pastor and great values from that show. They had so much diversity on the show.
True.
Not within the family, but they would have a Muslim come on and they would address the issues of Islamophobia and discrimination, and then they would have stuff dealing with homosexuality. And
that's true.
That show was so great in its time.
It was
genuinely
actually ahead of its time, now that I think about it.
It really was, and I loved watching it because I would always be like, wow, interesting. I don't get to see all these different types of people. I like to learn about these stories.
That's so true. Sorry, we went on a tangent, but
back to Burden of Truth.
Back to it, because I'm so excited to say I was right. I made a prediction, episode 2. I was just telling Mina, and I said that I knew it was going to be Billy and Joanna versus her father and her ex. Alan is her ex's name? Can't think of the ex's name. Did you know it?
I can't remember, honestly.
Maybe it's Alan. I just knew it was going to happen. Maybe because the show was somewhat predictable, but I'm really feeling myself at the moment.
You know, sometimes when a show is predictable, it doesn't make it bad because you're still engrossed in it.
Yes.
I feel like soap operas are pretty predictable. They throw in like ridiculous twists, and people still watch them and love them.
Decades. The same thing, the same twist.
Same twist.
Decades. So, I mean, I really am excited to know that my prediction came true. How did you feel about that? I guess it was supposed to be like a big shocker. How did you feel?
I felt like it was so obvious.
You did.
I don't know. I just felt like it was only about time, and especially even the romance with the cop and I mean, the cop, he's an actor. He doesn't even look like a cop.
He looks too perfect. The way his hair is gel, it's so
beautiful.
Does he wear makeup? Like, he just looks very, like, airbrushed.
He looks like someone playing a cop. He doesn't look like a cop.
He does.
You know what I mean?
You're right on that one.
That lady that he has a crush on is just so beautiful, and I love her character on the show. I think she's great. And like that was so predictable. We knew that was coming from last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's so awkward about it though. He's like a kid. Like he's like, "Oh, I just showed up at this dance and I saw you, so I came over." And she's like, "Do you want to dance? Like, talk, man. You're a grown adult. Talk."
Isn't it so interesting when someone who is typically dominant in many spheres of their life ends up being a little bit more submissive, a little shy, a little reserved when it comes to dating and relationships? Because I feel like, you know, in my personal life, I'm very, like, dominant when it comes to, like, my career, my relationships with friends. I feel like I'm very outgoing, but when it comes to, like, dating and relationships, I'm like, no, you pursue me. I'm a little shy. Like, I'm not going to go after you.
You know what? I'm with you. Oh my gosh, I am that same way. If you don't know me, you might think I'm super outgoing, like, and somewhat aggressive, but then if I like you, I'm like,
yeah, I get awkward. Yeah. Like, if I like someone, I'm like, yeah.
So I'm calling out the cop, but that's me in real life.
I can talk to anyone unless I have a crush on
I
you.
know, me too. And I don't care if it's a guy, and even if you're attractive, but I'm not feeling you, then I can talk to you.
Yeah, still, same.
But if I'm vibing with you, then I'm like,
then I get quiet, and I'll say like stupid things that I think are funny.
Yes.
And then I'm like, that was a really bad joke.
And then I call myself out, and then I'm like, so this is awkward. Anyways, we're the cop. We are that cop who shot. Yeah.
Yeah. This is it's like kind of like why I'm getting into the show now. I feel like I can kind of identify with some of the characters. A lot of them are very believable now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, we kind of see Kristen Krug's character as, you know, kind of like one-dimensional, where they try to portray her as like, I'm the stereotypical like boss, and I'm kind of like this go-getter lawyer, and I don't have a soft side, but that soft side is waiting to come down any moment with the right guy. And then it comes down, and it's kind of cheesy, but at the same time, we're like, okay, this is what we wanted. We wanted to see a different side of her, and now we're getting that like diversity in her character and in her demeanor.
Well, do you think her walls have been completely broken down? I feel like it's still there. It's just come down a little bit.
She doesn't want to be perceived as someone who has fun. Yeah. She wants to be taken seriously. And I think this is a huge struggle as women. Yeah. When we're in a position where it's a leadership position, it's a position as a businesswoman, an executive, any sort of high-powered position, there is a fine line between like being bubbly and being assertive. And if you talk in a certain way, if you have a certain intonational pattern, you're just not taken seriously. True. And it's definitely a struggle. So I feel like you will always be criticized no matter what you do, because people are going to say, oh, like the same thing happened with Hillary Clinton in the elections. Oh, why doesn't she smile? And then she smiles. Why is her smile so fake? Oh, why doesn't she have emotion? Why doesn't she cry? Oh, she cried. She's not fit to be president. Yeah. How does she cry? How is she going to deal with the North Koreans if she's crying? You know what I mean? Yeah. There's always a way to flip it, and it's so exhausting to be a woman sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Especially in a field where it's a male-dominated field, like being a lawyer. Everyone expects it to be all male, pretty much. And so I do think Joanna is struggling with this, so she really intensely fights this, kind of showing that she can also have a soft side, but it's coming out. But even her soft side is coming out, but I felt a different emotion with her, and it wasn't soft. It was like when she was approaching the principal at the end, it was a different type of assertiveness. It was almost like rage.
It was aggressive.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between aggression and assertiveness.
Yeah.
And people do not know the difference, but being assertive is a good thing.
Yes.
Because being assertive means that you are standing your ground and you're communicating in a way that is effective and clear. Being aggressive means that there's a hint of threat behind the words that you're saying.
Yes.
And you don't want something like that, because then when you're aggressive, there's a power dynamic where you are trying to assume the role of the aggressor. When you're assertive, it's just mutual respect.
Right.
And you're carrying yourself with confidence.
Unless you want to assume that role, and I think Joanna does want to assume the role as the aggressor. She's making a bunch of threats to the principal.
Sometimes it's necessary, though.
It is. So we got to see Joanna in a different light, but we also, for a brief moment, got to see the girls in a different light. The show opened up with them actually laughing and hanging out, and I realized I didn't know the girls in that way. They never were portrayed in this fun, like, we're high school girls type of way until that first 5 minutes of the show where they're around the bonfire, they're having fun, they're giggling, they're talking about prom, and so I was like, oh, yes, and then that quickly turned dark.
I mean, I felt the same way. That in a weird way, it was one of my favorite scenes, even though nothing really happened.
Right.
In a way, everything happened, because it's kind of like humanizing these characters that have only been seen in the light of, I have this illness, I have this disease. Now it's kind of showing I'm more than just this illness, I'm more than just my symptoms. I'm a normal human being, I'm a high schooler.
Right.
I care about the same things that other high schoolers do. I want to go to prom, I want to have fun, I want to make lasting friendships. So it was so heartwarming, it was so cute, and that's the part about it where I was like, this actually feels like a CW show now.
Yeah.
Like, this is taking it back to kind of like Smallville and other shows where you have that dynamic with high schoolers where you feel like you're actually in a high school.
Yeah, it's very true. Maybe that's why I really connected to that part too. Not that I'm in high school, but I just really connected to that part. And the whole show, not the whole show, but a major part of the show was talking about prom and how important it is. And I like the way Diana described it, because prom, especially in America, is such a big deal. And
It is.
And everyone wonders why, but Diana kind of wrapped it up in a great way. Like, it is closure. And if you're in a small town, sometimes this is the biggest thing that will happen for you, is prom. And so do you feel like prom is that important? Is that big of a deal?
For me, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think if you peak at high school, no offense, that's kind of sad, because I feel people are so caught up about being the head cheerleader or being prom king or being prom queen, but that's not where it ends. Like, I want to like say to all my fellow nerds out there, like, I was in high school, that you can be whoever you want to be in college. Even after college, there's always a way to reconstruct your image and live your best life and not worry about whatever group you were categorized in high school. And I mean, I enjoyed high school, but it definitely wasn't as good as college. I didn't, like, there were parts about high school where I was just like, oh, like, this really sucks. So, I don't know, I just feel like prom is a big deal, but it's not the end-all, be-all. But you don't really, a lot of people don't get that when they're in high school.
When they're there in the moment.
Everything is so, like, everything is so heightened, so important. Everything means everything. And people don't realize, no, like, there's so much more to life than high school.
I know, like, there's always times where they say, like, if you can tell your younger self something, I would just be like, high school really does not matter. And it seems so very important. Like, they're already talking about, Molly and Luna are talking about what they're going to do after high school, and they're going to start their lives. And I'm just thinking, girls, whatever you're planning is not going to work anyways, whether you have a Twitch or not. It's never going to go how you think. You guys are like 17, 18. But it's very cute because they think it's so real,
Yeah. And when you're in high school, you think you know everything.
Yeah.
You literally think that you're so woke that, like, you understand the world, and like, no, I really get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you really do not.
I know.
Know a lot about the world.
And Luna especially, she feels like she understands everything. But we have a new girl that's introduced, Amanda. She is the newest Twitcher. I hate calling them that, but she's the newest Twitcher.
That movie Twitches on Disney. Remember with
Yes.
Tamara Moore?
Oh my gosh! And now I'm calling these girls that.
Twin witches.
Witch Hunt.
Witch Hunt episode.
I mean, yeah.
It all comes
full circle. But yeah, so Amanda is the new girl victim, I guess. And her parents are the pastors. How do you feel? They were saying that this is the sickness does come from sin. Now, the pastor doesn't believe that they're actually like the devil inside of them, but he thinks that it can come out in feeling guilt. And I actually thought that it's a plausible reason because the
Guilt does not cause twitching, though.
it doesn't cause twitching. It does, but it does cause like anxiety, like he was stating.
He was saying that guilt causes like psychosomatic symptoms
though.
and can manifest itself in myriad ways.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, I get that, but this is so far reaching.
Yeah.
And I was just so annoyed. I hated his character. I was like, ugh, this guy. And I hate when people try to use religion to justify things that happen in the world. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it. And I do believe in God, but I don't believe in using religion as an end-all be-all to justify every bad thing that happens.
That's true, but religion is always like a battle of religion and science, and it's kind of what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And so religion is definitely nothing you can prove at all yet. Mm-hmm. And so his theories, again, not something you can prove, but then again, it's also something you can't disprove, not yet. So I'm pretty sure it's the barrels and a scientific reason why they're twitching, but I was open to his theory. I thought I was going to really hate him after he invited Molly to church, basically just to say they're all sinners. I thought that was really messed up. Mm-hmm. But then when he had his own one-on-one with Billy, I kind of could understand where he was coming from.
I liked him less.
Oh, really?
I was just like, no, I don't like the way you're... And the thing is, if that's really how you feel, then why are you preaching things in a sensationalized way to your congregation? I think it's so wrong. I don't believe the ends justify the means, and I don't think that you should do something like that. I feel like it's already like such a crazy issue with the twitching, and no one knows where it's coming from, and there are all these different conclusions that people are jumping to. Don't sensationalize it even more.
True. That part I didn't agree with. And Billy actually called him out, which I was really happy. That was a very real reaction of Billy to be like, okay, I get you, but you're like exaggerating this whole thing. And he's like, I know it, but I'm not going to tell the congregation that, which...
But in a weird way, like in today's society, that's the only way people listen to anything. The only reason why people watch the news is because topics are sensationalized. Yeah. Like, we will see the same story in the news for a week straight, 24-hour news cycle, and there are so many other stories in the world to report on, but we'll focus on one human interest story for literally 7 days.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with this murder case with Molly. Very sad case, but the fact that something...
Molly Tibbet?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very sad case, very depressing, but to focus on something and sensationalize something and create this atmosphere and culture of fear in our society where we feel like our communities are becoming less safe as a result when statistics show otherwise is very dangerous, because when you work in the news, you have a responsibility to tell the truth, not to sensationalize the truth. Yeah. And that's exactly what the pastor was doing. He was sensationalizing the truth because he had a hidden agenda, and that is completely wrong. And that's one of the reasons I really want to work in news, because I feel like objective reporting is important. There's no way to ever get objective reporting because we all come in with our own biases, but for the most part, you have a moral and ethical responsibility to tell the truth to your people. Yeah. And he's not doing that. As a man of God, he is not doing that. So on so many levels, I think that he is in the wrong.
Okay. I mean, I see both points. I really do. I see both points. Gosh, Mina, you have me thinking now. I'm like, I thought I knew what I was going to say, but I really liked your whole point of view. It's so accurate.
Thank you.
Dang. But you know what? We were talking about a lot of truths and lies, so I think it's only appropriate now that we get into our 2 truths and a lie. What do you think?
We have to.
What do you guys think?
You got me on the edge of my seat.
All right, so I'm going to remind you guys of what our 2 truths and a lie were from last week. Well, you have to guess. It was 1, a woman tries to sue her landlords of her workplace because she was assaulted by a seagull. She fell and injured herself, and she wants $7,000 in for damages. What do you guys think? True? Fake? I'm gonna say the other 2 now. All right, there was the police officer was hit with a pineapple at a protest. She was sent to manage. Her injury was so severe she spent 3 years mentally scarred. She is suing for $1.5 million because she believes that her damages are irreparable. Mm-hmm. And the last one, a woman is suing her husband for $1 million for too much affection. She claims her husband calls her 50 times a day and randomly shows up at her job. She believes it's a form of stalking.
You know, I think the last one is true.
Okay, so you think the last one's true. What did you guys think? Let me know. I will give you the answer. And the last one, Mina, is actually fake, made up by yours truly.
You made up that one?
Yes.
That was actually really well written.
Thank you.
Like, the fact that you would think, like, that's so random. I thought that it had to be...
It is so random.
It had to be real, because it's so specific.
People were guessing mine, and I was like, oh, man, because I was being too outrageous with my other lie, so I'm like, okay, make it a little bit more simple. Which means, though, that the police officer really is suing because she got hit with a pineapple at a protest. Isn't that her job? She didn't win the $1 million, by the way. And the other one was the woman trying to sue her landlords of her workplace because she was assaulted by a seagull. She got nothing for that. Absolutely nothing.
Wait, that was true?
That was true. This was actually in Oklahoma. Yes. This woman really did sue, and she actually went for this for 2 years. She was serious, and just for $7,000, she was serious about that $7K. So, let me know if you guys guessed that right.
Ridiculous.
These are crazy. I can't believe they're real sometimes. I have to be like, let me double check before I tell you guys they're real and they're not, but they are. So Mina, you take it away. We got 2 new ones.
All right. So because we're talking about religion and whatever, the devil. God. On that
Get a little dark.
I'm going to give you 2 truths and 1 lie. You guys have to discern whether or not I'm telling the truth. The first story, the first legal case, is that Thomas Passmore was a construction worker who had a history of psychological problems. He was working at a job site in Virginia when he thought he saw the numbers 666 on his right hand. Believing the numbers signified the devil, Passmore grabbed a power saw and cut off his hand. Now, when Thomas went to go visit the doctor when he was rushed to the emergency room, he said that it was against his religion to have his arm chopped off. So he didn't end up going through the surgery to get his arm back in place. He just decided that, you know what, it's against my religion, I'm not going to get the surgery. His arm obviously was still severed. So what ended up happening was, he later sued the hospital and the surgeon for $3 million, claiming that the surgeon should have known that Passmore was psychotic when he refused the surgery. The physician should have reattached the hand anyway. A jury disagreed and ruled in the favor of the defendants. So what do you guys think? You think that's real? You think it's not? We'll see. So next story. So you guys remember the Pokemon Go craze in July of 2016. That's when the game first came out. Huge deal. So what happened was there was a man named Brian Clark. He was just like any typical Pokemon aficionado, just like you and me. I was obsessed with the game at the time. So many people were. I went to Santa Monica once. I saw that so many people were just on their phones like Martians and zombies playing the game. They just wanted to catch Pokemon. So when he downloaded the app game, he decided, like any other LA native, to take to the Santa Monica Pier to catch some rare Pokemon. Fully immersed in the game, he tripped and fell off the gated enclosure, fracturing his ankle. He is suing the city of Santa Monica for $500,000, claiming that he was unable to carry out the duties of his full-time job for a year. The results of this lawsuit are to be determined because it's still an ongoing case, so we'll see what the jury decides. But also, let us know if this is a truth, if this is a lie. Up to you to decide and see if I am lying or not. And now the final lawsuit comes with maybe one of your favorite NBA stars, Michael Jordan. And there was a man by the name of Alan Ray Heckard who filed an $832 million lawsuit against Michael Jordan and Phil Knight, who is the founder of Nike. So Heckard resembled Michael Jordan in appearance, doppelgangers, and he complained that he was frequently mistaken for the basketball star. So because of Michael Jordan's fame, Heckard suffered harassment by the public. He sought both compensatory damages and punitive damages for emotional pain and suffering. Hecker eventually withdrew his claim, probably due to public backlash. He never received any money from Jordan or Nike. I mean, I can imagine, you know, someone looking like Justin Bieber going out into the streets and getting attacked by a vicious mob of teenagers. So this isn't that ridiculous. So let us know what you think. Is it a truth? Is it a lie? Let us know in the comments below. 2 truths, 1 lie. Figure out where the lie is and see if you can detect deception in my voice and in my stories.
Ooh, so we got the 666, we got the Michael Jordan, and we got the Pokemon Go.
Yes.
My guess is going to be that the 666 is the fake one. That's just my guess.
I have a poker face. You will never detect deception from me.
All right, so we'll find out next week. But let's get back into this because there's
Let's
still so
do it.
much to dive into with Burden of Truth. I kind of wanted to get into this death threat that Joanna's getting and kind of the whole town being against the girls. I mean, it's really hardcore now. The town is truly against the girls. And the girls and Joanna, why do you think they're so adamant? Like, do you think other people in the town are just upset about the mill and the whole, that's a place that brings the money? Or do you think more people in the town know what's going on?
Are you talking about Joanna's history
Yeah.
with her father? And
Yeah.
because it's such a small town, I do think people know. There is a part of me, however, that isn't sure about that, just because if the town were to know, how would they keep it a secret from the daughter, who seems to be completely oblivious to the
Luna?
fact? Yes. So Luna, we see in the episode, she states that her mom was pregnant when she was in high school, and she doesn't mention anything about her father, just that, you know, he left.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we know. So is Luna only telling us this, or does she truly believe this? If she truly believes this, I find it hard to believe that the entire town knows, because word will spread like wildfire in that town, especially if it's a small town. People talk, people gossip. I'm sure she would get bullied at school. I don't know if the town knows or if she is just covering her secret because she doesn't self-disclose immediately because it's very personal to her. I don't know.
Ooh.
Maybe she does know why her mom is unhappy. Maybe she knows it's a part of it. Maybe she doesn't. She does mention how it really bothers her that her mom is so unhappy.
Right. Ooh, that's a great question. I always felt that Luna didn't know, that she really genuinely does not know anything. But it could just be that she's just not ready to disclose everything yet. But I don't know.
I don't think she knows either.
I don't think she knows.
How does the whole town not know? I mean, the mom does seem private to the degree where I feel like she would only tell her immediate family members.
Yeah.
And they do seem to have that close-knit vibe. And were they Native American as well?
Yeah.
I feel like in that culture, it's very much like, you know, you keep everything within the family, within the tribe. Like, it's a very, like, loyal culture.
Yeah.
Where I don't think it would
Honorable.
slip the cracks. I don't think they would gossip at all.
I do kind of find it weird that, well, not weird, I guess it's very normal for Joanna's character, but she's still kind of in disbelief that Luna is her sister, and she's doing this whole DNA test, which we didn't even get the results this episode. Why are they waiting for that? It's not like it's going to be a big reveal. I mean, come on, we know Luna is her sister. Why are they doing that?
Because Joanna's in denial.
Yeah.
So even though we know,
Yes.
the plot can only move forward when Joanna faces her fate and her truth.
Okay, I could see that.
And I mean, the whole episode, and not even the whole episode, the whole season, you've been calling out on the after show that the dad is super shady. So, like,
Yeah, I think this is
finally-
the first time I didn't call him out on his shadiness, although
Yeah.
he's shady. Yeah.
Yeah, we find that out too at the very end. Like, this is just, it's so ridiculous. I'm like, is he even her real father? Like, why is he doing this? How can you prioritize your career and your business over your child?
I mean, he's
she's
a
an adult.
businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I can't hate on his. I mean, that's his job. So that's what he has to put aside his relationship to his daughter. But it's still so scummy. Another S word. Scummy, shady, slimy, whatever. He's all the S words. You know?
Snaky.
Yeah. Snaky,
Shitty.
snake.
Yeah.
Can't think of another one. Sticky? No, sticky. Sticky's nothing.
Salty. No.
Salty doesn't really go here. Sour.
Sour's a good one. Shitty.
He's all of that. There's a lot of bad S words. I don't know. That's really that's all my thoughts really for this episode. Am I missing anything?
I feel like there has to be something else going on. I don't know. I feel like there are other things, but before we go into whatever else is going on, I do want you guys to get involved in the chat, engage with us. We read all of your comments. I know we were a little harsh last week because someone pointed that out to us in the comment section, but we had a lot of faith that things would pick up, and it did. That's how it happens when you're in season 1 of a show. We don't expect everything to be perfect the first 5 episodes, but yeah, it's finally catching steam. And I just want to let you guys know that our network, AfterBuzz TV, produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve TV fans. But we need your help, guys, so listen up. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those annoying notifications, don't be, because they're totally optional. You don't even have to see them. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Ooh, yes. I really love when you read that. It's like soothing. I'm just like, yeah, okay. But no, it's true.
I feel that way about your voice. Your voice is amazing.
My raspy voice, well, thank you.
My voice is kind of high-pitched.
I like it. It's soothing. It's happy.
Thank you.
But yes, that's why we are the ESPN of TV talk. Anyways, so since we were talking about Joanna's slimy, scummy, shady, all the S-word dad, I think we should get into predictions because I have a prediction. Music? Yes, there it is.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I have a prediction, yeah, and it just came to me just now. I actually think, so I always has been saying that Joanna's dad is shady, but I think he's behind the threats. I think it's him, not him actually calling.
His people.
Yeah. Did I say that already? Did I already predict that?
No, you didn't predict that.
Okay. You're like, duh.
Well, no, that was so condescending. I did not mean it like that. I think it's just because, like...
You saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming, but it's just the fact that at the very end... I mean, for the last couple episodes, actually, they've been trying to get her to go back. And they've tried in a nice way. Why don't you come back home? We miss you. Okay, now he sends her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the ex-boyfriend says that it was her dad. Like, I'm sure the dad won't be happy with that, but he might not care either because business is business. But obviously the dad knows something. The whole season, you've said this yourself.
Yeah.
You already knew. But...
I just didn't think he would go to these, like, the SUV, running them off the road. I thought it was someone from the mill. I really thought it was...
Oh, you're right. I did think that, actually. You're right. But...
I thought it was like someone working for Ben Matheson. Not that he is Taylor's dad. I didn't think it was Ben Matheson, but I thought it was someone from the mill who was like, I'm going to be out of a job, get out of our town. But now I realize it's definitely the dad.
What if it's the cop and it's like a giant plot twist that we... No, I'm just kidding. It'll be like that movie, The Departed. Like, you'll never know who the rat is, and then you find out who, and it's just... You're just like, how did this happen?
Honestly, I wouldn't even put that past it because the cop has such a nice image. We were all talking about how
and he's awkward.
Pretty he is. Yeah, he could be like the middleman. It's possible.
His look is kind of like that look where he's like the pretty boy that can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
I feel like he could be playing
and because
them.
he's so close to her.
Yeah.
Because she's trusting him with kind of like, I feel like I'm one of those conspiracy theorists now. I'm like one of those annoying, like, oh my god, did this event in history actually happen? No, but I genuinely feel like maybe it's the person that we least expect, and the fact that he has the ability to be so close to Joanna makes him the least likely suspect. And look how much information he's getting out of her.
Right. Ooh.
By building trust. You gotta have one person on the inside. You gotta have an inside man.
It could be him. You know, you were joking, but it really could be. He could be the middleman. Also, I just want to point out how like quick this relationship with Joanna and her ex was. It was like they introduced them as a couple, then he came to visit her, then they broke up, and now he's back again, and it was so like they never had a relationship. The way he was just like, all right, you're not coming back, you've been served. So quick.
Yeah.
Like, why did they didn't even need to introduce them as a couple, I feel, because we never even saw them.
I thought that when he came, I was like, is he going to ask for her back? I didn't even think it was going to be that at all.
Yeah.
I literally thought they were going to go for the love angle, like the cheesy, like, oh, now she's torn between two men.
Yeah.
Who is she going to choose? And then I'm like thinking, if they did do that, it would have totally sidetracked from like the main plot.
So you were surprised. It did get you once.
I was surprised.
Okay.
I expected like some sort of love triangle.
I did too. But if there was a love triangle, he would have lost because her and Billy, like, something's happening. We saw at prom. They're getting closer and closer. Obviously, I feel like Billy is more into it than Joanna is, but give her time, and that will be something.
People always say go for a guy that loves you more than you love.
So Joanna, you have a winner.
Our feelings will grow over time.
I think that's actually really accurate. Do you feel like that's true?
I don't know. In a perfect world, I would like it to be perfectly equal, but even on the show How I Met Your Mother, they talk about how there's always a reacher and a settler, whether or not you want to admit it. There's always someone slightly like going for someone slightly out of their league and someone being like, okay, I'll take you.
It's so true.
It sounds so bad, but
I gotta
like
say,
to think there's equality within the relationship.
I really don't think there is, and I really appreciate it when the guy likes me more. I get really. Actually, you know what? I'm the opposite. I don't like when the guy likes me more because I always like a little game. I really do.
You like the challenge, but I don't
like the challenge.
But I also think that if someone likes you too much, it can be suffocating.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's something that happens to us internally where we feel guilt if someone likes us so much to the degree where we don't feel like we can reciprocate those feelings 100%. Because as women, I think we always try to reciprocate, always try to make people feel included and show that we have something in common and nurture. So I think when someone likes us too much, it's honestly really scary.
Oh my gosh, okay, Mina therapist. Therapist Mina, that's my life. She just read my life right there.
Maybe I'm projecting because that's how I am.
No, that's me. So maybe that's just us. Maybe we're just like vibrating on the same level.
Yeah, I think we're on the same. Yeah.
I guess so. Let us know if that's you guys. Is Mina also like host, newscaster, therapist? I think she's got it all. You're like soother.
You need to be like I need you as my hype woman. Like you're amazing.
All right, guys. I think that's all we have time for, right? It's so sad to say that's it.
That's it.
That's all the time we have.
And we're legitimately so excited for next week.
Yes.
Like, honestly,
I know.
Now I'm so invested.
Yeah.
And I was just talking so much trash last week.
Yes.
I don't know.
That maybe is a good show.
Yeah.
Like, it's sending us on a roller coaster.
Now I get like all those positive tweets from Canada. I totally get it now. I was like, because Parris was telling me, Mina, just wait.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Well, the viewers, really.
Yeah. And then I'm like very pleasantly surprised and excited.
Well, me too, guys. If you're excited, let us know your thoughts, your predictions. We are here for you. We want to know. So you can find me at Parris Rose TV on Twitter and at Parris Rose with 2 R's on Instagram. Where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic, and please tune in to the finale of the after show, The Proposal, next Monday. It is going to be so great.
All right, guys. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.